few arguments, okay? We can't talk about responsibility and accountability to human beings that create human beings. Obviously, they were never accountable and they were never responsible. That's why millions and millions of children died in the past. And who gave a shit? Alright, they don't give a shit. You got no water? Who fucking cares, alright, kiddo? You got no water? I don't fucking care. That's the breeder brain, alright? We're anti-natalists, so we care if our kids got water or not, alright? Because when we look at that photo of a kid with no water, we're like, no thank you, alright? We're not playing that game with our kids, alright? We're anti-natalists, okay? We give a shit whether our kids got water or not, okay? We're not breeders here, okay? Breeders don't even care if the kid got food on the table right now, okay? As long as the breeder's sitting there with their little coffee and cake, who cares if my kid got food, right? Who cares? I got the coffee and cake. So, this goes out to breeders, okay? People that create this animal, alright, this being called a human being, okay? Let's say, out of scratch, I just create an animal, okay? And this animal out here, murdering people, telling people to kill themselves, stalking people, staring at... If I created an animal like that, if I just out of scratch created someone that, an animal that just, threatened everybody and abused everybody and, raped humans and, Imagine would do that, alright? But the breeders are not held accountable. Number one reason why people breed is because they don't want to be held accountable, okay? They're not being held accountable, and they don't want to be held accountable. Responsibility is like a foreign word to them, okay? They don't understand the word responsibility. Oh, it's all the kid's fault. The kid became a heroin addict. It's not my fault. That's just the way it is. My kid just died of heart disease and got asthma and got lung disease, and it's not my fault. It's not your fucking fault, alright? Imagine I created an animal right now, okay? And the animal all of a sudden, I don't know, got polio or some shit, alright? Would you sit there and endorse that? But millions and millions of years humans were doing that, okay? Millions and millions of children used to die like flies, alright? You see these mosquitoes dropping dead, okay? Our ancestry literally what was just watching kids die all the time. Watching kids die. That's the breeder brain, alright? We're neo-sapiens now, okay? We're neo-sapiens, we're panda-sapiens, we're anti-natalists, whatever you want to call us, okay? We're neo-sapiens, okay? We look at a kid with no water and we're like, okay, if that is a fucking potential, even if it's just a potential, alright? That's not even on. That's not on, okay? Nothing out here is gonna make me say, let me sign up my descendants to starvation and shit. Okay? I'm not signing my kids up for that, alright? You wanna sign your kids? Because breeders, alright, you have a conversation with them, and they're always like, I'm just gonna, provide for my kids, and then my kid's gonna provide for their... You're talking shit right there. First of all, you're not providing shit for your kids, alright? All you're doing is creating them and playing with them. The number one reason why people wanna have kids, in my conversations with them, they just wanna play with them, okay? They watch some kind of video with a family, and the family's doing hopscotch or some shit, and that's what they wanna do, alright? They wanna play with their kids. It's all fun and games, alright? After laughter comes tears, alright? So, they want a toy and a pet. Always remember that when you're talking to a breeder, they just want a toy or a pet, okay? They want to relive their childhood. They're not here, okay? Their intention is not to be the slave for the next 100 years of their kid, okay? Their intention is to make everybody else the slave of their kid, alright? Because that's what's going on the planet right now, okay? Okay? Their intention is not, let me invent things or create things or serve my child the way everybody else is. Everybody else is doing that, okay? Everybody else is keeping your kid alive, housing your kid, creating the housing, creating the dishwashing liquid. Everybody else is now the slave of your kid. Imagine I created an animal, okay, that needed all this shit that we need, alright? Tissues, whatever, water, lights, CD players, whatever it is, whatever, boxes, I don't know, furniture. Imagine I created an animal like that. And I wasn't the one doing the work. I just signed everybody else on the planet to serve that animal that I created out of scratch. Wouldn't you think that's a bit stupid and arrogant? You would be sitting there saying, how do you think you are enslaving the whole human race to this animal you created that needs all this shit right now? So, my conversation with breeders is, number one, they just want to play with a little toy, okay? That's it. And if it goes wrong, it wasn't their fault. If the kid, became a crack heroin addict, cryptocurrency, gambling shit, if it goes wrong, it's not their fault, alright? They have the word responsibility means nothing to breeders, alright? They're responsibility, okay? Responsibility. My semen did it, whatever, the world did it, the parasites did it. It wasn't fucking me who did it, alright? It wasn't me, alright? She caught me on the counter, it wasn't me. Right? It wasn't me, alright? It wasn't fucking me who literally created, let's say, some kind of animal, alright? If I just from scratch, if I just sit here in my backyard and create a human being that was, murdering people and, it's freaking ridiculous when you think about it. Imagine I created some animal right now that, could, swear at people and violently abuse them and, be a misogynist and racist and rapist and, threaten people and intimidate people and, imagine I create from scratch, like out here in my balcony, I just put together a few items and all of a sudden I have this human being and now everybody got to be the slave of this animal that I created. People would be thinking, who the fuck are you, right? Who the hell do you think you are, alright? That's my point. I don't know how to put it. But the number one thing people start saying is, they don't look at the parents. They're not asking the parents to go kill themselves. They're asking the kids that the parents created to go kill themselves. That's why my mind was blown. I was like, okay, my parents created me. I didn't ask to be born. And you're out here forcing me to kill myself? I didn't create myself. Alright, I didn't put the egg and the sperm together and bring me into the world. But you're sitting there forcing me to go kill myself. Why is that on me? Alright? So, You know what I'm saying? Have you ever created an animal and be like, animal, go kill yourself? Does that make sense to you? Imagine I created an animal and like, well, if you don't like it, here, go kill yourself. Go fucking kill yourself, you animal that I created. Because literally, my parents were like that. My parents were like, okay, just go kill yourself, you know. People like that. Imagine I created somebody and and expect them to go kill themselves. Just because, I said so. Does that make sense to you? Why does the kid have to go kill themselves? If somebody has to go kill the kid, it should be the fucking mother and father right now. They're the one who created it. Now the mother and father not responsible? Now the kid has to go kill themselves? Now you're forcing the kid to kill themselves? Why aren't you asking the parents to come and give them something to kill them? Why aren't you asking the parents to kill their kids? Why are you expecting that person who didn't ask to be born to go and kill themselves? They didn't create themselves, right? They didn't put the egg and the sperm together and bring themselves into the world. And when I said to my dad, all right, why'd you have me? Oh, my instinct. And then he's like, now and I said, okay, everything that bad happens to me, who's to blame if anything bad happens to me? And he said, well, I can't blame my dad because my wife got a divorce. That doesn't make sense. Your wife got a divorce. You can't blame your dad. You can't blame your dad. And he's like, now I have to blame my ancestors and my ancestors and my ancestors. That's what he said to me. Okay. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to take responsibility, all right? The people that didn't take responsibility, they're the ones who breeded, all right? The people that could help themselves, okay? Our ancestors, all right? They probably had an excuse, all right? They had some kind of stupid-ass excuse to breed, all right? They were not fed, housed, and clothed, all right? That's somehow stupid-ass excuse for breeding, okay? But you were fed, you were housed, you were clothed, and you were fucking educated, all right? How can an educated man and woman, all right, breed? That's my question. How the fuck can you do it? The only reason why you breed is because you don't want to think, okay? You don't want to think. You don't want to think. You don't want to think, okay? You're making excuses, okay? You're saying God is responsible. You're saying God has to keep my kids alive, all right? That's not how it works, all right? That's not how it works. Not for a neo-sapien, not for a panda-sapien, and not for an antinatalist. Because the one word we understand, it's called responsibility, okay? We don't walk away from responsibility. Breeders do, okay? Anybody that breeds, they're walking away from responsibility. That is part of why they bred, okay? Somebody who breeds, they're walking away from responsibility right there, okay? But we don't walk away from responsibility, all right? Because like a breeder says, I'm not responsible for my descendants 10,000 years from now. Yes, you fucking are, because you're educated and your brain works. But apparently it doesn't. Apparently all your brain sees is, I'm just going to have a kid that's going to be a little pet, like a little bunny rabbit. It really offends me that you could consider a human being as a pet, okay? Because that's what they're doing. Little toy, little pet. Okay? If you want a little toy, go and adopt. Okay? Go and adopt. Okay? You can have a bunch of little kitty toys right there, right? Go and adopt. Okay? Because you're not thinking, all right? You're not being responsible at all. Because you're just creating something to play with. You're not creating something you have to serve. You have to be responsible for. Okay? Let's say I created out of scratch, okay? Some kind of animal being that was out here raping women. Would that make sense to you? Well, it would make sense to you to create some kind of animal being that would be out here murdering humans, bombing humans? Would that make sense to you? Would it make sense to you if I created an animal that, I don't know, threw a ball at a human's head and made it, die? I don't know, what the fuck. I don't watch enough violent content to come up with violent things to say. But there's a lot of shitty humans, okay? Would you create someone, let's say I create an animal that, had to pay $1,000 a month to smoke cigarettes. Would you do that? Would you do that? Would you create like a monkey or something? Like, let me create a chimpanzee that's going to pay $1,000. They would have to pay $1,000 a month to smoke tobacco? Would you do that? Would you create something like that? That's my question. My question to you is, would you do that? Would you create a chimpanzee? Would you create an animal that was going to, pay $1,000 every month to smoke tobacco? Would you do that? Okay, I'm not saying anything, alright? I'm not saying anything. But you have to ask yourself, at what point do we fucking wake up? Alright.